Sunday, happy Sunday. I'm so happy to be here with you. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? So if you have questions, go ahead and ask in the chat. So today's topic is, are you scared to speak up? Yes, yes. We all been there, right? They sometimes feel like you really want to say something, but something really, holds you back, and you like stay silent, right? And especially notice when it happens with authority figures. What we call authority figures, it can be parents, it can be bosses, it can be teachers. Right? Why? Because we have this fear, right? We have this fear that if we were to speak up, it will change the dynamics. And, especially as like people pleasers, we don't speak up, we stay silent because, we're scared to create tensions with people, right? So let me demonstrate, how I learned along the years, how to really speak up, right, with people. Even though it's really, really hard for me, I still do it. But it's not about even like speaking up. It's about just protecting your energy and stand up for yourself. But stand up for yourself. So let me share with you a story for me a few years ago, 2 years ago. Okay, so I was driving, actually, I was in a traffic jam, and I just was standing in the traffic jam, and some car all of a sudden that were on the sidewalk, they were reversing off and hit my car, right? It's the the next to the driver's sides of the car, and it hit my door, and it's been like it damaged like all of the side, the driver next to the driver's side, all the way. So you know what? And that person, he just didn't want to give me his like insurance details, right? Because if someone hit your car, so you need to exchange details. And he's like, no, I'm not giving you details. Like, call the police. And I'm like, okay. So I just called the police. And by the time, or even before, like the police, I canceled the police because, after like 5 minutes, some guy that like saw me arguing with this gentleman, if you can call him gentleman. So he like, come on. And it's like the person that like hit my car, he was like really old. I don't know, like over 80 and stuff. So this guy like, you hit this like girl car, you have to exchange details. So this person finally agreed to give like his details, and I canceled the police. Like I told them, you don't have to come and stuff. So, but you know what? So he hit my car. So like my insurance agent told me, you know what, Limor, you don't have to do anything. Just, you have insurance, they have to fix it. You don't have to pay any money. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. Because like also this person that hit my car, he told me, while I was really stressed because he didn't want to give him to give me his insurance details. And I was calling my father, and I'm like, you know what, this guy, and I was really stressed, and I was like about to cry because, it's like, I never encountered this, experience before. So this guy, when I was calling my father, is like, he start to mocking me, like, oh, it's like, it's just, I'm telling you, like, what? It just start mocking me, like, oh, you're going to cry to someone, oh my God, you're a little, and I'm like, oh my God, like, this is like an older person, and he's like acting like a little child. And I'm like, you know what? So even though I could fix my car without any, I didn't have to pay anything because I have insurance. But, I tell to my insurance agent, you know what, I'm not going to fix my car, right? Because otherwise it will be, it's like, it's going to be written that I like was involved in an accident, and it wasn't even my fault. And this guy is like mocking me and trying to, say that he didn't do anything, I'm going to take this person to court. And even though my, insurance agent, oh, it's going to take a long time. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm going to speak up and I'm going to stand up for myself. You know what? Because this person has to be taught a lesson. You know, is practically lying, telling me that he didn't do anything, and then he's like mocking me. No, no, this guy has to know how to treat, especially another person, and especially a woman. So I'm like, and I went to court, and the hearing was postponed for twice. And after 2 years, I had the court hearing. It was like last week. And what do you think? I won. I won, and this person now have to pay me like few thousand, right? So why do I tell you this story? Because I could have, just to not do anything, just to fix my car with my insurance, right? And to stay silent, right? And maybe this person, maybe in the future, we will do it to another person, right? So I told myself, 1 second, I can't see because of the glare. So you know what? So why do I tell you this story? Because I decided to speak up and I decided to stand up for myself. And I wanted justice. Sometimes, yes, sometimes it's better for you to not say anything. But if someone wronged you, you have the responsibilities. You have the responsibility to speak up for yourself and to defend yourself, right? So, so of course, because we are, all of us, if you are in this, watching this video right now, most likely you are a people pleaser, and people pleaser, we having like a hard time to create tension with people and to speak up and to stand up for ourselves. And we say yes, even when we want to say no, right? So because I've experienced a lot of those, stuff in my life, I decided to not speak up and to stand up for myself. And this person, I hope that he now learned his lesson, right? And he's like practically, it was like the court hearing, he was like practically standing there in line. He was telling that I hit his car, and I was like standing in a traffic jam, and he just, reversed off the sidewalk. And he told them that it was like the other way around, that he was driving, and at my car, like practically, and this man is like religious man, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like the morals, and this is like the, how do you call it? This is what you stand for, like standing there in line. So, so sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you have to just to pick your battles, because, there's a lot of you like you. I learned along this process to speak up, to stand up for myself, right? To not stay silent when I want to speak. So that's, a lot of the time. So this is like extreme example, but on your day-to-day life, you have problems most likely to speak up and to stand up for yourself with authority figures. Authority figures are teachers and bosses and parents, right? So why? Why do you think it's really hard for us to speak up and to communicate, even though just to communicate our needs to others, to our friends or whatever? Why do you think so? Because we have problem to create tension with others. So why do you think we have tension to create tension with others? Because we think that if we were to speak up, that person not going to like it, and this is going to sabotage our relationship, right? Or people are going to look at me differently, or people are going to leave me, people are going to abandon me, and I'm going to stay alone, right? So I rather just to shut up, not say anything, to swallow it, right? And then just, but do you think when you don't speak up, or when you don't stand up for yourself. And I'm not saying when you speak up and stand up for yourself, you have to be respectful to the other person. I'm not saying to to communicate in a disrespectful way, but you have to express yourself. You know why? Because that energy, it's not really going to go away. It's going to stay with you, and it's going to turn into resentment, right? And you're going to stay with all, bubble up with all those like energies inside of you, right? And like the other person or whatever, it's just going to stay like clueless, because sometimes they don't really know that they're doing something wrong, right? I'm not talking about this guy that that damaged my car, but he was like consciously lying, right? But but in our day-to-day life, sometimes even like me, I had no problem in the past like to talk to my bosses, like when people are like, oh my god, this is how you speak to your bosses. And I'm like, yeah, because you know what, when you know your self-worth, and when you're really authentic with yourself, you can't really stay silent. You can't really not defend yourself. You can't, right? Because people will start to walk all over you. So if you are really connected to yourself and you are really, this is one of your values, right? One of your values is to decency, right? To have like to have like really you respect yourself, right? You respect yourself, so you can't really stay silent when you respect yourself, right? So like if someone wronged you, I'm not saying like to immediately like, yeah, because we are human, so sometimes we are going to respond like emotionally, right? And we say things that we shouldn't. But if you just like for a moment, if someone like let's say that is wronged you, or saying something that you don't really like, or something that is disrespectful, you can just for a moment take a moment to yourself to digest it, and then ask yourself, okay, how can I communicate it right now in the best way that because the other person needs to know that his action has an influence on your emotional, especially if it's someone close, right? If it's a close relationship, that person has to know that their action like has an impact on your emotional well-being, because you are close, right? But even if it's not someone close, like even like someone like, I don't know, like start to talk behind your back or something, or in tell lies about you or something like that, this is your responsibility to stand up for yourself and to create tension. And you don't have to care how others perceive you, how others will perceive you. And I'm telling you, if you're going to speak up and someone is not going to like it, or someone close is going to remove you out of his life, so these are not your people. These are not your people. So you don't have to sit there with all of your emotions and not expressing yourself just to make other people comfortable with himself or whatever, right? No. So how do you know if you need to speak up? If you're now thinking about it, and if like, oh my God, this other, even if it happened like, I don't know, like a year ago of something, you don't have to carry that energy. You don't have to stay silent just because you want everyone to like you, or you are scared they're going to leave you. And I'm speak from experience, because I'm struggling up until today with expressing myself. But now I'm forcing myself to do it, because I know if I'm not going to do it, I'm going to suffer and I'm going to be with that energy. So why? You know what I'm saying? So think about, I challenge you, think about one incident or one experience that you really if you are remembering this experience, you feel like resentment or something. And if this person, or if this someone that's still in your life or around you every day, like at your workplace or whatever, so you have to speak up. You have to speak up. And I can sense it that there are people that, that listen to this video, and you have something that you haven't shared with someone, that you need to do it. You need to stand up for yourself. If someone is disrespectful, even if those people are your own parents. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Even, of course, you have to respect them and stuff, but if they have no boundaries with you, they want to take advantage of you, or they want to take your time or your energy, or they want you to live according to their playbook. No, 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 no. This is your responsibility to speak up, to set boundaries with people, and to tell them exactly what you think, of course, in a respectful way. In a respectful way. And if someone wronged you, because I know in the spiritual community, oh no, love and peace, love and peace. But you have to stand up for yourself if someone wronged you. I'm sorry, you have to stand up for yourself. Like the example I gave earlier about this guy that damaged my car and wanted just to not be accountable. So it was my responsibility to hold this person accountable, and especially the way that he was treating me, like mocking me. Why, no. Even though there are people that told me, no, Limo, just, maybe you're going to lose and I won the court, I won the hearing. And it's like it was like a really good feeling just to know that that person is going to be held responsible to their action, right? So if you have question, yeah, that was really intense. If you have question, just go ahead and ask in the chat. And so think about it. Is there something or someone that you want to speak to, or to share your emotions, or to stand up for, or to tell this person that he was like basically dancing that weren't really appropriate, or so this is if you are now thinking about something and you still living with this energy inside of you, you are the one that's going to be like to sit with this energy. And you don't have to, because most likely if someone wronged you, it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault, right? And I'm not saying to make yourself like a victim, or like, to be in a victim mentality, or poor me. But there's a difference between standing up for yourself and communicating your needs, and, communicating things that sometimes it's going to create tension with people. So you have to do it. You have to do it, right? And it doesn't mean that you are not nice. It doesn't mean that you are not likable. It doesn't mean that they're going to leave you. It doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that you have to take this energy on you and to carry it like a bag of stone on your back, and, and just to carry all those things with you. You don't have to do it. If you are just, I'm telling you, if you will just communicate, if you just let it all out, and if you just stand up for yourself, you will feel so relieved. I promise you, because I experience it all the time. When I have in trouble to communicate my needs and stuff, but there is one thing that I heard from this coach, and he said something, and now I tell it to myself all the time. You can't really, and now I'm talking about like, right, personal relationships, like close relationships. It can be friendships or whatever, or significant others. You can't really push away people that are meant for you. So if you are now sitting there and thinking, oh, should I tell them, shouldn't? Yes, you should. And see it as a sign, because if you come across, there is no coincidence, right, in this universe. So maybe you need to hear this message. So if you have something to tell someone and you want to speak up, if someone wronged you, right, if you are carrying this energy, if you are feeling this resentment, if you are carrying around this, like, it's really, it's just, you are the one that, it's like drinking a poison, you want to, to not to rock the boat, right? To everything to be like smooth sailing with everyone. But you end up carrying this energy. And then you are the one that carry all this burden, right? So why? Why? So start small. Start small. My mission to you is start small. Start to communicate your needs. If someone like is disrespectful, or if someone, even just if someone like, sometimes people like hurt us without even like, it's not intentionally. This is how they act. So I challenge you just to speak up. If you feel that someone is like, did you something wrong, start to speak up. And start small, even if it's just like a small thing, like, I don't know, like even if you're at work and someone like took your pen or whatever and didn't, and this is the only pen you have and you need it back, but you feel like, oh my God, I'm not going to ask him back, yeah, ask. you know it sounds like it's like, minor, but no, it's just those little things. This is how you start to build your muscle of speaking up and communicate your needs to others and standing up for yourself when when you need to, right? So at the beginning, you're going to feel like you're going to die. Oh my God, I'm going to speak up, I'm going to, and after you do it, you will feel like how I feel, so empowered, and so, in your, this is really powerful, right? Because if you are used to, like I used to, if you are used to, hey, good morning, I just would take Guten Morgen, I know it's in, right? In German, right? Hey, good morning. So, yeah, so what I was saying that after you will speak up, you will feel so empowered. And, and this is a muscle you have to build, right? So start with the little things, right? If someone like taking someone or doesn't, someone, you can take it really back from them. It's not, you know, of someone it's not replying to you with a message or whatever, whatever it will be that you feel like you weren't with it right? So this is your challenge. This is your challenge and this is your responsibility. So I challenge you to do it and share with me. You can share it like in the chat. What are the things that you really struggle to communicate to others, right? It can be at work, it can be with your family, with your parents, it can be with anyone, right? Or it can be like this person that damaged my car, and basically after 2 years, I won the court hearing. You know what? This is so like, I'm telling you, just to know that this person is most likely not going to do it again to someone else. It's like, it's like I've done my part. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. Think about it. So I know that we are people pleasers. We are easy to, to not to rock the boat, to stay silent, just stay in your lane, whatever. But no, no. Okay, so if you have questions, go ahead and ask. And if you're watching the replay, you can go ahead and ask in the comments, right? So our lesson for today was speak up, stand up for yourself. If there's something that you want to communicate, just do it. If you feel like, you need to communicate your needs to others, even if the other person didn't do you anything wrong and you just need to express yourself, express yourself. There's a saying, it comes up to come out. So just express yourself and allow yourself to sit in tension with people. And most likely, I'm telling you, when you allow yourself to sit in tension with people, most likely they are going to respect you more if you are like just a yes man all the time, right? Most likely, because oh my God, this person, like, he carries himself in a specific way, and he's like has like a lot of high self-esteem. He knows his value. So when you know your value, right, you're not going to be scared to, to communicate what you want to communicate and to express your needs, or if someone wants to stand up for yourself, right? So it's all about the self-respect and value. And I know we were programmed when we were children, we were programmed by our parents, don't speak up, be polite, na 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 na. Or, we were scared because sometimes a lot of us grown up with like abusive parents. So you know that if you are to speak up, you're going to get a punishment, right? Yeah. So just do it. And you know what? And when you do it for yourself. And when you do it, don't be outcome dependent. Don't do it and then tell yourself, oh, this person has to react in a certain way. No, you do it for you. You do it for you, you do it to express yourself, and you're doing it to unburden yourself from this burden and from this energy. And if the other person will get it, okay. If it's not going to get it, it's not your problem. Your problem and your responsibility is to express yourself and to communicate the things that you want to communicate and to stand up for yourself. So it's not, you don't have control over how the other person is going to take it, how the other person is going to react. Someone is asking, what is my background? I'm a coach. I'm a certified coach for spiritual awakening, emotional healing, and all those emotional stuff that people don't really talk about, right? The people pleasing, the needing external validations, right? And it's all about, like, my purpose is to help you to find your voice, right? And to speak up. So yeah, so what I was saying, that I know that we were programmed by our parents and by society just to stay in our lane, not to speak up. Think about it. When you are in high school, you can't really say anything to the teacher, right? You can't really express yourself. And then you grow up. So it begins with our parents, and then our teachers, and then our bosses, right? And then we are like becoming like those people pleasers that have to be nice with everyone, but deep down, we feel like, excuse me, SHIT, we feel like, we don't feel good about it because we carry other people's energy. Oh, I don't want this person to feel that way about me. I don't want that person to feel bad about me. So we take all this energy and we carry it with us. Do you think this to live your life? This is not a way for you to live your life. And I'm telling it to myself as well as I'm telling it to you, right? So when you feel something comes up for you and you want to express yourself, just do it. You will feel so empowered. You will feel so much better afterwards. And if you have like the time, so take a step back, think about what you want to say, and then do it in a, and when you do it, do your best to not to accuse the other person. Like, when you did that, I was telling myself a story that maybe you don't care, or maybe I would prefer if you do it, it will make me feel better. This is like the blueprint, right? It's not a, oh, you did that, and it makes me feel like, you know what? No. Right? If it's like someone close, right? And if it's just someone like a stranger, like comes up, or something like, like how I had my accident with this person, you just have to act immediately, right? And to defend yourself and stand up for yourself, you know? So yeah, and you know, this is great. When you start to practice this muscle, I promise you, you will go back to this video and you tell me, you know what, Lemore? You know what, Lemore? You were right. You were right, right? So yes, so if you have questions, go ahead and ask. And if you're watching the replay, you can ask questions. So I dare you. My mission for you today is, if someone, to think about things that you want to express to someone, and just do it. Just even if it's just a little thing, right? So I wishing you so much love. I wishing you the best, and have a great day, and start to communicate what you want to communicate, and stand up for yourself, right? When you need to pick your battles, you have to pick your battles, but be smart about it. But if you want to do it, just do it. So I'm sending you so much love, right? And thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next live. Bye bye.